Space Jesus is back. Now, last night someone made a meme about that, and honestly, I love it. It's a pretty hilarious meme. It's made me laugh for about 30 minutes straight, and that happened at like 3 a.m., so I'm fairly sure my neighbors could hear me laughing. So, yeah, actually, I will show the meme on screen because I think it's really funny. It made me laugh for quite a while, so I think it's pretty good. Now today I'll be doing some PvP, the usual, and still haven't bought myself a new navy battleship, since I still don't know which one to take. But I think there's a good chance that I will take a Tempest Navy. After all, I already have really good skills for it. I have the Macario, and well, the Macario doesn't have anything to do with the Tempest Navy, but the skills do have to do a lot with the ship, since my expert large cannon skills should be maxed out all on level 5, and they are very important for the Tempest Navy. I mean, all the expert skills are basically important for the Navy ships, since they do take advantage of those skills the most. But of course, the advanced skills are also important, since they do affect the parameters of the weapons and the parameters of the ship. And I believe today I will have some very interesting targets. There are some. I think there are 2 encounters where we got a very weird build, and I think I will include that in this video. I also had some very interesting fights with the cells with a new build. So, with that being said, I believe it will be about time to... Now, something quite funny happened this morning. Basically, I had the video prepared, but this morning we had a very nice target, and I had to basically go back and edit this clip in. So, the first target, the actual first target for today, will be a Barghest. Now, in the past I encountered about maybe like 10 or 15 of these ships each and every time we caught them. A Barghest is a very interesting ship. It can be very lethal, but in most cases the Barghest that we encountered weren't really that dangerous. Some were good, some had some decent builds, some had bad builds, but in general, the Barghest is a very easy to kill ship if the pilot isn't careful, since the Barghest alongside the Yeetus and the Garmur is basically a very lightly armored ship, if you can call it like that. I mean, lightly armored. It hasn't that much tank, although it has a lot of shield, but it's very difficult to get a Barghest to work as a tank. When I say it's very difficult, not impossible, but yeah, the Barghest isn't really made to be a tank. It's a long-range kite. It can definitely take advantage of the long-range points, and it can also take advantage of the speed, since they have buffed the speed of Mordor ships in the the last updates. They buffed their speed by about, I think, 25%, something like that, which made them decently fast, but they're still not very maneuverable. They have not good inertia, so they're good when they go in a straight line, but when they have to orbit, it can be a little bit tricky. Not that noticeable with the Yeetus or with the Garmur, but with the Space Pan, with the Barghest, it's definitely a thing that you can notice. Now, it would look like this Barghest is aligned, and I'm waiting for my friend to tackle him. We have a Stratios on grid right now, and we have aligned ourselves towards the location of the Barghest's mission. They are 100 plus kilometers from the center of the mission, and when we do land, we will try to basically burn towards them. The Macario is fast. I believe the Macario should be faster than a space span, at least in my case. That's how it used to be. Still working on leveling up my barrage, but I might actually go and do the barrage on level 45. I'm not really sure, but I might just go and do it in the end, since it works really well. And with the artillery cannons, the Macario can actually be very interesting. The Macario with the barrage implant and artillery cannons is pretty awesome, so that's one of the things that I would love to try out on this ship. Okay, let's see. My friend is still approaching with the Stratus. That's the thing with the Stratus. The Stratus is... it's very sneaky, but it is very slow. So usually it can take quite a while for a tackle Stratus to get within range, but that's fine. We are in position. Both of our Macarios are aligned. For this space pen I actually brought quad gyro stabilizers, because I'm not taking any chances with a space pen. I have to have as much DPS as possible to kill that ship. So, I mean, I believe we already have pretty good DPS, but just in case, you have to be ready for things to go wrong, and that's why I have a 4th gyro stabilizer. Sometimes a 4th gyro stabilizer on the Macario can be very good. One thing that I kinda messed up here, I should have added a 3rd web, but this build should work just fine without a problem. Okay, 16 kilometers, 13 kilometers, about to be tackled. We are ready. When I say things that the things can go wrong, maybe the Barghest is a bait, so if we do have more ships land close on us, I have to keep the sniper protected by having a lot of webs and a lot of
Warp drive
DPS with my autocannons. But it should be good. There should be no bait for now. Alright, here we go. Game on. Warping to the Barghest. Okay, there they are. Nice and tackled. They're actually 58 kilometers from us. That's quite far. Looks like a tanky one. Okay, that's interesting. The Barghest seems to be using a implant. That's a huge red circle there. Barghest is now into
We're under attack.
armor. Seems to have a lot of armor. That is a tanky Barghest. But we are also kind of far away. And the Barghest has been destroyed. Nice. So they have been about 158 kilometers away from us. And that is quite far away, to be honest. That's some good range on the Barghest. But nevertheless, we have succeeded at blowing up the space span. And let's warp out. And then let me show you the kill mail. Should be a pretty juicy one. I have that feel. Usually when I get a feeling that there is something juicy, it usually is. So let's see what kill did we get today. Oh no, 20.6 billion, a B-type Barghest with some very juicy modules. Oh my god, this is jackpot. This is how you make 5 billion ISK in 10 minutes. Yeah, this one was a very, very juicy Barghest. That was a lovely kill. Nice work, nice work. Start. So the first target for today will be a prophecy. Now, with the cells, I have two builds for this ship. One build with the autocannons, and the second build is the build with the artillery cannons. Now, ideally, I want to have two of these ships. One for autocannons, the other one to be a kite. since you can kind of combine the cells to be one platform for both kiting and brawling, but
warp drive active.
it's not really good for some of the targets that you might encounter, and you are going to miss out on a lot of speed. You're going to miss out on some range if you are using a ship. If you're using a cells that's not really specialized for kiting. So I still have to find myself a new cells and basically have to build it to be a kite. Now this is the first target, a prophecy, and I am approaching at 20 kilometers. I have the battle mode active. This is, I think, the third time or fourth time where actually I'm using a long range build, and as you can see, the cells does slap really hard with the artillery cans.
We're under attack.
If this was a, let's say, more specialized kite build, I can definitely pull out a little bit more alpha damage out of this thing. But for now, for what it is doing, it's actually really scary. It does hit from about 2,000-3,000 up until 5,000 or 6,000 per hit. And the cycle time of the weapons is about 1.16 seconds, so that's a lot of DPS. This thing does slap really hard when you are using the artillery cans. Surprisingly, it's quite enjoyable. I believe the Cinnabal is also very enjoyable with the artillery cans, but the cells with the battle mode is kind of unique. And this was a 230 million ISK prophecy. They had a large afterburn, which was interesting, and they had also decent rigs. That prophecy could have been a problem, since they could be very fast with their large afterburn, but I was quite fast on warping in, so they didn't really have a lot of time to actually go full speed with the afterburn. And of course, the inertia with the large afterburn is really high with the prophecy. And surprisingly, we have another prophecy here. That's the second prophecy that we will have for today. Now this prophecy is a bit further away, but I don't have scrubbers, I have long range disruptors, which is in this case actually really helpful. Now this thing, it's still fast, not as fast as a proper kite cells, but it's still fast, and I was able to get within the point range very quickly. And as you can see, doing some good damage on the prophecy. Definitely felt a bit more tanky than the previous one, and they have been destroyed. That was very nice.
Attack.
There is something very interesting about using the ship with this type of build, because I don't know, there's just something very fun about the artillery alpha damage. It works really well. That's what matters the most.
Warp
it
drive
really works.
active.
It really works really well. Alright, well, warping out, and then we are going to see the kill. Let me align myself towards the station. Having a cloak is a good idea in some cases, but for the most part I actually fly the ship like a Cinnabal, like a buffed Cinnabal, and for now it works really well. 184 million ISK, not bad. Let's go to the next target. Now the next target is a Dominix, I believe. Yes, it is. Okay, now this Dominix was in the mission, but they warped out and left. So we missed the first warping. Now, I'm not really sure why they warped out or what happened. Maybe
Warp
they
drive
want to
active.
change the build. Usually when a ship does that, they don't come back. But sometimes they do come back. Usually when they warp out, they realize who I am in the local, and they wisely decide to leave and not return. Because if they would stay, they would probably get yeeted. And well, since the players are careful with their ships, they do leave. But this Dominix has returned. Now my warping isn't the best. That's actually, yeah, that's not a good warping, but the Dominix isn't that far away, and I'll still approach and go towards them. Now this is interesting. They actually locked.
We're under
They locked
attack.
me on and they shot at me first. Now they have a
We're under
implant. I
attack.
think this is the automatic defense implant, but it didn't have an effect on my Macario, I was still able to melt the Dominics within seconds. And I actually have to
We're
say
under
they
attack.
didn't last nearly as long as I actually expected them to last a bit longer, but apparently I was wrong and they got melted very quick. Let's take a look at the kill. 594 million. Now what kind of build is this? Now this kind of looks like a base build, although quad armor repairs. That's kind of odd. And triple nanobot rigs for armor repair. You know, if this was a Hyperion, I could kind of see this work. I used to have a Hyperion with quad armor repairs, but this is a Dominic's. So, not really sure what kind of build that was supposed to be. I mean, they didn't manage to repair even once. And my barrage was literally deleting that ship. So, definitely not
Warp
a
drive
build
active.
that you should be using on a Dominic's. I prefer to have more resistance over tank. More resistance will definitely save your ship in all ways than just to have just to have armor repairs. Now, my friend is in the mission. The Dominic's actually returned, and I will be warping back in a moment. I lost the location since I did scan a different target, so my friend will have to provide the warping. Waiting for the command. Okay, there we go. Now have to be fast since the Dominic's can be quite a dangerous
Warp
ship
drive active.
for a cruiser. My friend is in a RB, so I have to be very fast to actually get there on time. Although they have been using large drones and they are slow, and by the looks of it they didn't have any drone speed mod installed, so I believe my friend should be safe, but I'm not going to take any chances. I have to be fast and have to approach. They're using now rapid missiles. Okay, that's interesting. Dominic's is using rapid missiles. I will be. Let's turn on everything. And yeah, that's definitely not a lot of armor for a battleship. There's a good chance that the pilot doesn't have good battleship skills, because I had battlecruisers that tanked more damage from the Macario than this Dominic's.
We're under attack.
So I'm not really sure what's up with that, but let's take a look at the oh, we got some. I think we made bank. I think we just made some bank. That was a very nice salvager that dropped. I think that module is like 200, 300
Warp
million on
drive
the market.
active.
Pretty good drop from a Dominic's, so I'm not going to complain about that. This time a 1 billion is Dominic's, and a Galente salvager also dropped. Okay, pretty good one. That's a pretty good target, pretty good kill. Always nice when you get some ESC on top of a good kill. I mean, I'm usually after the fun. ESC just comes along with it, you know. If you have fun playing the game, then the ESC is just flowing in without a problem. The next target is the Apocalypse. Now this Apocalypse was aligned, so my friend and I will go to planet 6, I believe. Basically, we are going to position ourselves in a very good warping position, so that when the tackle happens, we are
Warp drive active.
immediately on top of the Apocalypse. I kinda miss my Stratius. After I sold it, I realized that I might have to buy one back at one point, since there is no other ship that can just tackle ships that are aligned as efficiently and safe as a Stratius. So I think I will do that. I think I will buy the Stratius again at one point. Now the location of the Apocalypse is somewhere around the sun, and that's basically the position. That's the location that I'll align myself to.
Fleet approach.
Yeah, my friend also did a fleet approach. That also works really well. Although my friend's Macario is much faster than my Macario. Their Macario is as fast as a frigate. That's literally, that Macario is the fastest ship, the fastest battleship in the game. No one has a faster Macario than my friend, and he also has some amazing DPS on that ship. I'm still working on maxing out my Macario. I still have some modules to change. I thought about doing some B types and A types on it, but that kind of doesn't go with my bling policy that I have for a while now. As you guys know, I don't really fly expensive ships anymore. I mean, I do have some expensive ships, but I obviously don't fly them as much as I used to fly them, since there's literally not much difference nowadays. And I actually prefer cheaper ships now. Much less hassle if they explode. Alright, we are about to warp. I think tackle is about to happen. Waiting for the fleet warp, which should be at literally any second now. And you'll see the difference between our ship's speeds, the warp speed basically. The warp speed difference is, look at that, zoom, there he goes. Like a frigate, that's how frigates warp. And I'm quickly behind, like I'm a couple seconds behind, but that's fine. My Macario isn't really built for speed, although I can definitely improve the warp speed. I thought about it, but haven't really changed the rigs at the moment. Right, there is the Apocalypse. They are at 36 kilometers away from us. And based on, yeah, that's definitely a very paper Apocalypse. And there he goes. There goes the Apocalypse, destroyed in seconds.
We're under attack.
Having a faster ship means that you are going to be able to shoot first. And basically, if you do shoot first, there's a good chance that you're
Warp
also
drive
going to
active.
do more damage. So speed is very important. 156 million ISK, a full-on sniper Apocalypse. Very interesting build though. Not really sure why they didn't have a Apocalypse Tiger. Although that was a good catch. That was a good kill. And now let me align myself towards the station so that we can wait out the criminal timer. Alright, we are going to the next target, and let's see. We have a battlecruiser. They are also aligned somewhere alongside, somewhere towards the sun. And this time they are not aligned. Now I'm in the long range kite celos. Usually I would swap to a close range build, since I'm fighting a sniper, and if you want to fight a sniper, you definitely want to fight the sniper at a close distance. However, I think I should be good. I have a lot of shields and damage control, and I also have a tracking disruptor. I can easily just orbit around the battlecruiser, and they are not going to be able to easily hit me. After all, this thing does have a bonus on tracking when you use the battle mode, so you can technically orbit full speed and it will still hit the target.
Warp drive active.
Right, we are in warp. The Celos does warp like a Cinnaball. It's a very fast ship, and it really makes the ship perfect for
Enemy ships
a
detected.
job like this. Now this is a excellent timing, since I landed the second the new wave spawned, so they didn't have the chance to actually see us. And there goes the battlecruiser. That was a good kill. I did some good damage up close, and this is one
Warp
of the
drive active.
interesting things about the battle modes. As I already said, you can easily hit ships up close with it, since you have extra tracking with the battle mode active. It does have some drawbacks, like it does use capacitor, it does slow the recharge of the capacitor, but it does give some very nice buffs. And here you can take a look at the build. Dual scramblers, that's actually interesting. Dual scramblers on the battlecruiser. Next target we have one Raven. My friend is in a Punisher Navy. I will be the Macario, since it's a Raven, and with the recent buffs on missiles, Ravens are kind of a little bit more dangerous now, so just to make sure that my friend doesn't lose the frigate, I'll be in something big, and the Macario should do the job just fine. Let's approach. Yeah, it kind of feels like a tanky Raven, but I'll go through its shield without a problem. Okay, Raven is now into armor. Scrambled, webbed. Raven is now into hull. And the Raven has been destroyed. Nice, that was a good kill. Okay, let's warp out. I kinda miss my cloak in Macario. That thing was hilarious. That was one of my... I'm not really sure what's my craziest ship that I've ever had. I think the Revelation is probably my craziest ship because of the build. Still thinking like, what is my most insane ship that I've ever had? Kinda hard to answer that question, to be honest. I would lean towards the Revelation, but doesn't have to be the case. Maybe I forgot a ship. Doesn't matter. I'll definitely try to find an answer for that another time. But it's a good question. It's a good question indeed. Alrighty, let's take a look at the kill. 498 million, not bad. Not bad, I'll take it. Any kill is a good kill, any loot is good loot, so I'm not going to complain about that. I am here for the fun, primarily, and so far we are having a lot of fun. So, let's go to the next target. We have a megaphone. Now, a tier 9 megaphone, not the striker, not the navy. If it were a navy, that would be interesting, since the navy battleships are quite tanky. And I think for a navy I would prefer to use the megaphone striker, but we've had encounters with navy battleships in the past, and my Macario did really well against them, so I think I'll just keep on using the Macario for now. Alright, I am at position. They are also... What's up with the ships being located around the sun lately? This is like the 4th or 5th ship that was around the sun. And I'm also aligning towards the same location as well, since that's basically where their mission spawned. You know, I might just go and bookmark the location of the mission, and then next time I might just walk to the bookmark, and who knows, perhaps I just land on top of them without scanning them. That would be funny. I will have to try that out. I mean, there's a possibility that you can actually create random bookmarks around a mission where story missions spawn, and there's a good chance that at one of the bookmarks a new story will spawn, or not exactly in the same location, but could be within like 1 million kilometers from the mission. So that is one of the tactics that I know works, because we used to do something like that a couple times in the past, and we made it work, but it requires a lot of bookmarks and it requires a lot of coordination. It's possible, and if the target is worth it, then we will definitely use that tactic. If all tactics fail, that tactic is basically one of the last resorts that we have. Alright, let's see, what do we have here? Well, there is the megaphone, nice and close. Excellent. Warp in 13 kilometers. Scrambled, webbed, and open fire. That was fast. Did my friend use artillery cannons? I think they did use artillery cannons.
We're under attack.
At least it did kind of look like that. I might be wrong. Could be a good idea. I actually
Warp drive
haven't
active.
tried out a artillery Macario yet, but I've heard that it is really fun. So I might be playing around with that next time. We will see. I think the Macario should have some very nice alpha damage. Alright, let's align and let's take a look at the kill. 538 million, also a sniper, okay. Interesting, that's a very interesting build indeed. Alright, well, that will be it for today. We had some very nice targets, some hilarious targets as well. That build on the Dominix, I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe it can technically work, but obviously it didn't work against my Macario. But interesting idea. Should be maybe it will work a little bit better if the Dominix had more tank, but I'll definitely see if I can test it out myself to see if a similar build to that one can be good. But with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed. If you would like to support me, feel free to like and subscribe. And with that being said, stay safe, fly safe, and as always, I'll see you next time.